I can't begin to tell you how much time I spend on this site.
It's gorgeous.
They're making
6,000
nice.
Can we play the
Yeah,
cards?
can you
Oh, play one of the videos?
Cultural clock, that's adorable.
The light at this angle
over there.
You know, people ask me, or they will eventually, why I run a support group for Cawkaholics. Because I'm good at it? Well, yes, I am, but no, that's not the reason. Because they need me? No, also true, but no, not the reason. No. To make the world a safer, more tolerant place for caulks and sealants? That's why. Plus, I'm excellent at it.
The site is called GooTube. It's dedicated to videos and songs and performance art about caulk. Here's one I just downloaded.
At Sherwin-Williams, we take our caulk seriously. We make 30 truckloads of it a week. That's 17,000 tubes an hour. And if you laid them end to end, we make enough each year to run from Cleveland to Tokyo by way of Moscow.
So you'd have to walk on them to get there? All the caulk would shoot out. You'd lose your balance when trying to walk on the water. No, it'd just be better to take a plane.
Edward has a little trouble grasping symbolic comparisons and analogies and eating utensils.
Hey, Mr. Ward, can we get some heat on in here? I'm freezing.
Sweetheart, why don't you, mix in a coat or a sweater over there? All right?
Only a loser would put a wrap over an outfit like this.
Excellent point. I know I wouldn't. Besides, it's not always about you, okay? And even though you can't spell caulk without you, okay? And it is always about the caulk, all right? So you got to ask yourself, what would caulk do? Would caulk care if it's cold? No, I don't think so.
Actually, caulk does care if it's cold.
You tell him, Nancy.
There's a reason why it shouldn't be applied below certain temperatures.
40 degrees Fahrenheit.
And that's just too cold for the caulk to do its thing.
All right, well, besides the 40-degree thing, okay, that's a specific science. No need to agree, Professor, okay? But in the real world, cold means nothing to caulk.
No, that's not accurate.
Hey, caulk means nothing to cold.
No. Listen, if the substrate is too cold, the caulk or sealant won't stick as well. The reason being reduced surface wetting, meaning that it's too cold to make a proper seal.
And when it's cold outside, the caulk gets cold, and it even gets brittle.
So then it doesn't flow well into the joint, making patchy adhesions and voids.
And when the joint moves, then the caulk fails. Big time.
Because there's not enough of it holding onto it on the surface.
Cold is another in the long list of things that Edward has trouble with. He once tried to caulk a snowman we were building to keep it from melting.
Okay, so since caulk has trouble in the cold, the logical response is not doing caulk when it's too cold. All right, now we just need a frame of reference.
Like 40 degrees? Like it is now?
Yeah, okay, that'll work. Let's go ahead and all agree not to try to caulk when it's less than 40 degrees.
Great. How's about I gather all the Sherwin-Williams caulk literature and change it up to say, don't caulk below 40. Done!
See, that's progress, okay?
Another item on the list of things Edward doesn't get, sarcasm.
So if it's too cold out, don't caulk, and if it's too hot...
It doesn't matter. Caulk doesn't care about the heat.
Yes, it does. Too hot is just as bad as too cold. Excessive heat can lessen the sag resistance, rendering the caulk too runny to adhere and cure properly.
And the substrate tends to be hotter than the air around it. I've seen it a million times. See, the substrate gets too hot, and that can cause outgassing.
Which are the tiny little bubbles that get caught in the seal. Very bad form.
Actually, most of the time, the bubbles will not affect the performance of the caulk.
But it looks bad, and then you try to paint over the outgassing, and then that looks bad, and it just keeps
Calm
looking
down.
worse.
Fanny, it's okay. Calm down. Let's breathe.
I do see her point, Caulk has no fashion sense. Okay, that's it for today. Oh, I just want to tell you that as much of a pleasure as it is for you to be taught by me, it is almost equal to the privilege of imparting my wisdom on you.
Good, thank you.
Your pleasure is mine. That's what it looks like when you reach people.
You know, sometimes there's just not enough words to adequately describe how it feels to be in a place where Edward is speaking, you know? I mean, he's just so clueless and empty. You know, like a joint that'll never be caulked. Anyway, even in spite of him, I did get some good out of it today. Don't caulk if it's too cold, you know, less than 40 degrees Fahrenheit, or too hot. You know, if you don't have a thermometer handy, try this. It's cold enough for gloves, it's too cold for caulk. And if you can fry an egg on the substrate, it's probably too hot.